cereal sabotage on aisle 7. Legendary rappers Snoop Dogg and Master P suing Walmart and Post Foods.
They claim they've been discriminated against.
This is about minority-owned companies getting a fair share.
What's going on, guys? This is From the Desk. All right, so today we had a kind of cool news story. The homie Snoop and Master P are suing Walmart and Post for trying to sabotage their cereal, the Snoop cereal. So I just want to do a couple comments on this. You know, this case is carrying out right now. Basically, the allegations are, Post and Walmart conspired to make sure that the cereal was out of stock, make sure that it wasn't on store shelves, basically trying to sabotage the sales of the cereal. And so Snoop, Master P, and super lawyer Benjamin Crump are suing, saying basically it was a bad faith deal that Post made with Broadest Foods, and they feel like they're being treated unfairly. Now, I'm not going to comment on all the details of the case and some of the practices that are being claimed against Walmart and Post, but I do just want to talk about some of the terms of the deal and how you can protect yourself against some of these things that Snoop and Master P walked into. Because to be honest, I would have never done the deal they did. It was a deal that was definitely in favor of Post, but some key things, if they had known about these, and I've only learned about them because we put our product in a lot of retailers. If they had known these things, man, this never would have happened. They never would have had to sue. None of this could have been totally avoided with just a couple simple things. And we're gonna get into it right now. From the desk. Post Consumer Brands was excited to partner with Broadest Foods, and we made substantial investments in the business. We were equally disappointed that consumer demand did not meet expectations. Of course, Master P differed, said, this is about minority-owned companies getting a fair chance. Change is coming, and it's going to start with me and Snoop. So let's kind of dive into the complaint, right? So this is the full complaint. It's like it's 34 pages. I thought there's some interesting stuff here. So, this deal just was inked in 2022, as you can see here. And there's just a couple of things that I want to highlight about this deal. So as we kind of scroll through here, right, you see the cereal here. They talk about how they had great reviews. So people loved it on Amazon. So it wasn't a question of if the cereal good or not. However, after a few months, customers across the country could no longer find the cereal with Walmart listing that they didn't have any products in stock or they were sold out. And so then, they show receipts, right? Here's a store in Pennsylvania. It says it's sold out here. But as you can see in these photos, they have it in the back of the store. Here's another one in the back of the store here. Another one in the back of the store here. So all over the country, the stuff is in the back of the store. Now, for people who don't know anything about retail, this may seem like, oh, hey, there's sabotage happening here. Well, I don't know if it was targeted, and I'm going to tell you why. So typically when products get to a store, they sit in the back until the employees in the store have time to merchandise them and put them on the shelf. Here's the problem. I don't know if you've been in a Walmart lately, but they got like 8 people working up in there, okay? And those people have to stock all the stuff on the shelves. And typically, this is just information I know, at Target, there was one point where there was like 500,000 SKUs in each store sitting in the back, and it wasn't getting on the shelf. And I only know this because flip sticks were sitting in the back of the store, not on shelves. But so were 500,000 other SKUs. And so when I look at this, to me, I know Walmart has twice as many SKUs as Target does. And if we were sitting in the back of the store and so were everyone else, I just have to assume that the same thing was happening here. I don't know if it was targeted. I don't think it was. But they weren't in the back of the store. But the reason they were in the back is because everything's backlogged because the stores they don't have enough staff. They're not hiring enough staff to get everything on the floor. So stuff sits in the back. Now, when you're dealing with food companies in particular, but any company can do this. Typically, I don't know if you've ever been in a store, but you've seen the Coca-Cola guy in the store, right? The Coca-Cola guy goes in the back of the store, puts the product on the shelf. It's not a Walmart employee. It's not a Target employee. It's not a retail employee. Coca-Cola pays someone to come in there. And the truth is, the cereal companies do the same thing. Almost all the big companies do that because they know this is a major problem. Now, I don't know what the exact terms of this agreement were, However, I can almost guarantee that Post has people going into stores and putting their products on the shelves, taking it out the back so that it doesn't get stuck back there unsold. Now, did Snoop and Master P negotiate this with Post? I don't know if they did. It appears that they probably didn't negotiate it, but they probably were expecting that Post was going to treat this product like they were their own. But here's the thing. It can cost $25 to $50 per store to merchandise this product and get it on shelves. Now, how many locations does Walmart have? Walmart number of locations. Walmart's got 10,000 stores. So if you are going to pay $25 per store to merchandise this item, that is going to be $264,000. Typically, they're sending people in every week. That means in a year, $13.7 million to merchandise this product in the store. And if they didn't negotiate that in their contract to include that merchandising, there ain't no way Post was going to drop $13.7 extra million to get it merchandised. So if you're ever cutting a deal and it has to do with distributing your product in a store and you're doing it in partnership with a larger brand, make sure they include this merchandising. You don't want your product stuck in the back of the store. And no offense to the Walmart or Target people out there, we love y'all, but we know y'all leaving it in the back. So you want to make sure you get it out front. When I had my product in the store, this was offered to me not by the retailer. The retailer got nothing to do with it. They don't care. However, we had a great broker partner who was like, hey, the only way we can guarantee the stuff gets on the floor on time is this. And you can see in real time in the back end systems how much percentage of the stock is on the floor, how much of the percentage of the stock has been delivered to the store, but is not on the floor yet. And like I said, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I don't know if Post was supposed to do that, if it was included in the deal that they had. However, if they had ensured the contract was signed and that all their stuff would be merchandised weekly, this never would have happened. All their product would have always been on the store shelves, no problem at all, but you got to pay for it. Number 2, so this is the other big issue, breach of contract. So, here it says, hey, Post has the obligation duty to manufacture, sell, and distribute Snoop cereal to retailers across Walmart in America. Doesn't say they had to pay to get it merchandised. They did do that. They manufactured, they sold, and they distribute. Now, look, do I think this was Post's fault that this happened? I don't know. But what I do know is that this should have been in the contract with Post that they must merchandise the product and get it on store shelves. First thing that you always want to make sure you do. The second, this is the other big problem. Right here. 115, Broadest Foods was supposed to receive 50% of the net profits from the sale of Snoop cereal in biannual payments. Listen here. Come in close. Never, ever negotiate a deal with the partner to receive net profits. Ever. Remove percentage of net profits out of your vocabulary. All right? I'm going to tell you why. When you're a corporation, okay, and you produce a product, you know what the costs are, you know how much it costs to distribute, you know every cost included in there. Here's the thing. You know how these corporations don't pay taxes, right? They hide the profits. They say, oh, we spent money on this and we spent money on on the research and development. And oh, then we spent money on this over here. And oh, well, we had to put this money over here. And at the end of the year, they say, hey, we made $7 on $18 billion in revenue. We only made $7 whole. It was crazy. I know. I wish we could have made some money. Now, do you really think that they didn't make money on that $18 billion? Of course they did. That's why Amazon don't pay taxes. So Jeff Bezos ain't paying taxes. They say they don't make any money. And if you negotiate a deal with them for profits, they will tell you they made no money. They will tell you they spent every single dollar possible in order to not have to pay out profits. They're capitalists. It's just what they do. Never negotiate that deal. Here's what you do instead. Let's say, for example, Snoop cereal sold for $5. So let's say when they were looking at the numbers, they said, okay, well, how much do you think it's going to cost to manufacture, sell, and distribute. That's what they were supposed to do. Post could have came back and said, well, it's going to cost us about $1 to manufacture, sell, and distribute your cereal, Snoop. Great. So that means it's $4 in profit. They'd have been like, yep, that's $4 in profit. So 50% is $2. Yep, Snoop, that means you can get about $2 per box of cereal. Fantastic. We don't want 50% of the net profits, okay? We want our $2 from every box that's sold, right? $2 is 40% of revenue. Now, see, if they had negotiated 40% of revenue, that means every single box that went out the door, they would have gotten their $2, whether it's sold or not. That ain't none of my business. If it left the factory, then I need my money. And that's the deal you want to negotiate. We only negotiate deals on gross revenue. And that's always going to mean you're going to take a much smaller percentage. It could be 1%, 5%, but it doesn't matter because you can do the math. You can ensure that you're getting your money. For example, when we negotiated our deal for promotional flip sticks, the company that we were working with wanted to do a net profit deal. Companies always want to do net profit deals. You don't do net profit deals, okay, ever, under any circumstance. I cannot get this across clear enough. We only do gross revenue deals. That's it, okay? It just makes it fair, makes it clean. You can go and you can check the accounting. Simple. So when we were negotiating our deal, instead of doing a profit deal, we told them, hey, well, tell us the cost, how much you think the profit's going to be. And then we just set the revenue there. It makes it very easy for both sides. Both sides have to be honest. And here's the other thing it does. When the company produces the product, right, when Post produced that product and shipped it to Walmart, that revenue has already been made. Walmart paid for the product to be in the store. Now, when it doesn't sell through, they're going to have a chargeback. Chargebacks go against profit. They don't go against revenue, right? And so even if Walmart paid for $5 million worth of Snoop cereal and then they sent back $4 million worth, if Snoop and Master P had a negotiated revenue deal, they would have got their 40% off the $5 million. When the $4 million worth of product came back to Post, Post would have ate it, and they would have had to. And so guess what that means? That means that Post would have worked their ass off to get that product sold because Post is going to make their money on the profits, which means they want shit to sell. And that's why you only do net revenue deals. If you only do it on the net revenue, then you make sure you always get your fair shake. And more importantly, your partners work harder for you when it's revenue because they want to make profit. And they have ways of making and clawing back more profit. It forces them to be more efficient. It forces them to sell more. And at the end of the day, both partners are going to be happy with a revenue deal over a profit deal. The profit deal looks nice. It says 50%. That's a big number. I would have taken 20% revenue. I would have taken 5%. I would have taken 10% revenue over 50% profit. Because 50% profit, they can make profit say whatever they want. And so, when I look at this deal, I'm not sure who was negotiating this on behalf of Snoop and Master P, but they should be getting sued too because, they did not provide, in my opinion, whoever was giving them this guidance to do this deal was not giving them sound advice because this is stuff that anyone who's ever sold anything in retail should know. So like I said, I'm not sure what attorneys or what, brokers are who they worked with to help them close this deal with Post. Obviously I don't expect Snoop and Master P to be knowing the ins and outs of this stuff. That's not their job. Their job is to market, to be the face of it, to sell it. But whoever negotiated this deal on their behalf, terrible job. They did not do justice to these two legends of the game. And just make sure that when you're going to negotiate your deals, so you know that no matter what, you're covered. You know that your partners are going to work really, really hard for you. So anyway, I'm interested to see what happens with this lawsuit. See if they can get their deal renegotiated to make it, more fair for both sides, particularly for their sides. But yeah, man, I mean, I hate to see stuff like this, especially when it can be avoided. These things, it's all in the negotiation of the deal. If you can negotiate the deal in a way that uh, ensures your partners will treat you fairly, that both sides will be treated fairly, then these types of things don't come up. And because hey, they only make money if I make money, and you don't have to worry about there being any type of negligence or bad faith acting or any of that stuff. It can just be totally avoided. And when you're dealing with really big players, people that are bigger than you, and you want to do a deal with them because of the reach and because of the knowledge and stuff that they have, make sure you have someone that's done what it is you're trying to do, helping you and coming to the table to support you. Because if you don't, you get the short end of the stick. We live in a capitalist world, and everyone's job at their organization is to make the maximum amount of money possible. And you want to make sure you got somebody on your team that knows how to make you the maximum amount of money possible. So get a good mentor, get a good partner, get a good negotiator to help you if you don't know. And it's okay not to know. I didn't know none of this stuff. I only know because somebody told me. And now I'm telling you. So when you lock up your deal with a big national brand and they try to hit you with we'll give you a percentage of the profits, you're going to say, nah, bro, we're going to take that revenue deal. We don't do net profit. We do gross revenue deals, period. And if you're putting your stuff on the shelf, make sure that whoever you're doing a deal with is going to pay someone to go put it on the shelf for you, because the Walmart employees and the Target employees and all them employees, they're going to get to your product when they get to it, okay? And so if you want your stuff on the shelf, you got to pay. That's why the Red Bull guy's in there. That's why the Snickers guy is in there. That's why the Hot Pockets guy is in there, taking their product out the back and putting it on the shelf, because they already know. Everybody knows. You got to put your own stuff on the shelf if you want to make sure it's on the shelf. I remember I was looking at a video of Mr. Beast, because Mr. Beast is in Walmart and his stuff wasn't on the shelf, and his stuff was all messed up when it got on the shelf. So he told his fans, look, I need y'all to go in the store, tell them to get the stuff out the back, and then when they bring it out the back, I need you to make sure it looks nice on the shelf because they doing me wrong. It's not personal. It really is not personal. But it's just the name of the game. So listen, if you play the game, you win. And now you got a little bit of the game from the desk. Peace.